So you want to be an influencer? You want to be an influencer. So you want to be an influencer. Hey guys, my name is Jakaya Parker and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I grew my Instagram page from 0 followers to 52,000 followers. So today we're going to be talking about a few key points. Nobody in particular asked me for this vlog, but we're going to give it to you anyways. Okay, so I am a 23-year-old content creator based in Florida. I've basically been a boss babe since I was 15 years old. I started doing hair at the age of maybe like 12, but professionally I did it for my classmates and more people around like 15. My mom made a Facebook page for me and everything was on and popping after that. Shortly after that, I began to sell like designer do-rags, headbands, scarves, lip glosses, lashes, stuff like that. I just kept it real cute. And then once I turned 18 and I moved out, eventually like around COVID time, I started selling face masks. I started selling wigs, started selling more lashes. I started helping people start their businesses, like lash businesses. I started selling clothes, bathing suits, shoes, purses, accessories, the whole 9 yards. Anything that you can think of, I was selling, okay? Like, your girl had no limits. And even now, I'm getting back into my entrepreneurial ways. Super excited to see what this year is going to do for me. But anyways, let's get started. That's enough of my yippity yap. What is an influencer? Basically, to me, an influencer is someone that can influence his or her peers to do something, to buy something, to be something motivational wise. You know, you motivate people, you encourage them, you review things, and people tend to gravitate towards you or things that you do, or they tend to listen to you because of who you are, because of your authenticity, because of your confidence, because of your knowledge, your wisdom, and all that good stuff. So I would say having the power of influence is a huge thing, and you have to be very careful of the things that you try to influence people to do, and you know, the things that you do as well, because people are always watching. Now, that's not to say for the consumers it's fair for them to just, well, you do it so I could do it. No. Okay, we have our own different life and things tend to work a little bit different, and you know what, that's okay. That is okay. What made me want to become an influencer? I want to, you know, like play in the mirror, play dress up. My mom would always take us shopping on like weekends or for back to school, and she would make us model the clothes. She would always take pictures of us. You know, that was a huge confidence booster growing up, like having a mom that always wanted to take pictures and videos. Like, you know, it was kind of annoying, you know, as a child. Mom, why you always want to take pictures of me, Mom? But eventually, as you get older, you kind of realize it's like, it's a confidence builder. Now you realize you love to take pictures and stuff like that, which is something that I realized growing up too. And then shortly after, you know, I started going to high school. 9th grade year, I wasn't the best at dressing. You know, I was just coming into my style. But 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade year, you know, I started getting shoes and, you know, purses and other little outfits that people always wanted to know, like, where did I get it from? And they would start asking me like for fashion tips. You know, it always started off with hair because I'm a hairstylist. And then from hair, I went into clothes, I went into jewelry, went into shoes, I went into makeup, it went into the whole 9 yards. So that is basically how I found the love of all things beauty, fashion, you know, putting myself out there, being in front of the camera, being confident. I want to say in 2021, as you guys can see, your girl is locked. So in 2021, after many years of doing hair and deciding like, I want to take better care of my hair and myself, but sometimes I don't really have the time to. So I figured the most or the less time consuming thing was to lock up my hair. And you know, it's like a quick 1, 2, 3, 4 step type of thing. You know, once a week, twice a week is not a huge maintenance, you know. And I figured that that was something for somebody like me that doesn't have time. And even though I have the experience of knowing how to do hair, sometimes I'm pretty lazy, you know. So for people that are lazy, for people that don't necessarily know what they're doing or they don't have the time, I would say locks are your best bet. So, you know, I started posting like little small content, just like little pictures and videos to document my hair journey. And you know, as time went on, I started to accumulate more followers, you know, just because of my locks. And at a time, locks were super trendy. So, you know, I started getting followers. And one day someone was like, hey, like, we never heard you talk. Do you talk? Can you talk? What's up with that? Like, do a voiceover. So I did a voiceover one day, and man, they was loving it. So they kept asking for more voiceovers, more spend the day with me, more hair tutorials, like hairstyles, more moisture routines. And then it went into skincare, and then from skincare it went into fashion, and then from fashion it went into beauty. So you kind of see how everything ricochets, and we'll be talking more about that later on throughout the video. So make sure you stay tuned. So another question is, how long have I been creating? I've been a professional content creator, I would say, for about 3 to 4 years now. Now, when I was in high school, because, you know, I have to build my hair platform myself, you know, my mom, she was Facebook savvy, but it was only enough to kind of get my foot into the door. So I had to learn how to do edits on Instagram. I had to download CANVA. I had to download PICSART. I had to download CAPCUT, all of these little apps and these tools to help me further my business, learn how to edit, and make things appealing to the eye so that my clients would say, hey, well, this looks kind of cool. Let me book her. You know, because sometimes people love your work, but it's certain things that draw them in to booking with you and, you know, spending that money with you, you know? So I have the experience prior, maybe I would say like 6 years of recording content and putting it together and posting it on social media. Now, I wasn't always the best, but I started to learn over time, what did I need to do? You know, and I spoke about it earlier, how I started off as locks and then I ended up doing beauty and fashion content. What is a niche? Something that you are going to need when starting out, influencing, content creating, UGC, being a business owner, anything, you have to have a niche. What is your niche? What is the reason why people are going to come to your page, okay? Now, I would always say choose one thing, and then once you get that one thing down packed, like I mean to a science, then you can go ahead and gravitate towards other things. You know, you might have a passion for multiple things, but you start off with one passion, you grow your followers, and then you hop into other things, okay? Because hair is a huge part of me, but after a while, I started to get burnt out, I would get tired, and you know, I really found my passion for makeup. As you can see, your girl got a full face. Make sure you guys follow me at Brown and Locks to see my little transition video that I did with this makeup look. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Some of the niches that you can fall into, like the categories, I would say beauty, you can fall into health/wellness, entertainment, which is like just being relatable, being funny, music, you can do DIYs, you can do food reviews, you can do lifestyle. There's just so many things that you can do, okay? So don't ever feel like there's nothing out there for you. And sometimes being in the niche is just being you, okay? Authenticity sells all the time. How did I gain 51.8K supporters? Now your girl, my followers been dropping a little bit lately, so I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that Instagram has been clearing out the bots for me. What I did to gain my supporters was I joined engagement groups. I was always engaging with my followers, my supporters. I always commented back. I always answered DMs. I would go live. I would always talk to them on live. I would always you know, show support back, show love back. I'm always grateful. I always make a post telling them how grateful I am for them, you know. I just always try my best to let them know, like, hey, I see you rooting for me and I'm rooting for you, and I could appreciate that, you know, because you don't have to comment on my stuff. You don't have to like anything, you know, you don't have to share anything. So it's super important that you show your fans, your supporters, your loved ones that you really appreciate what they're doing for you. I would also say trending audios and hashtags. Now, don't solely rely on just those two, which is the trending audios and the hashtags. You kind of have to do everything, but hashtags are super important. What are the key highlights of your video? Let's say you have a spending day with me. You put hashtag get ready with me, hashtag outfit of the day, hashtag for you page, hashtag explore page, hashtag black girl, hashtag locks, hashtag girls with locks. So you kind of have to find the SEO. What is tying into your video? What are people searching up that'll have them click on your video, okay? And then trending audios. Those are audios that are on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, Shorts, anything that's already out there, is already circling. So when people kind of click on the sound, they can just scroll through and see like, oh, well, what else is under this sound? You know, it's cute. It's very reliable, okay? And you don't have to do too much, which is great. That is great, okay? That is awesome. Period. Now, like I said, you have to respond to comments, you have to respond to DMs. I always, depending on the time that I post, I always spend like an hour or two scrolling on my timeline beforehand, engaging, liking pictures, commenting underneath pictures, responding back to comments, responding back to DMs, fixing my links, being active on my story. And I would say you can post maybe like 3 stories a day. Like I said, authenticity sells. So you being you point blank, it's gonna get you some type of engagement, okay? And consistency goes a long way. I know there are some days where you post one day you might get 10K views and the other day you might get 3K. You just keep going and you keep going, because you know what? Sometimes there are videos that go viral later on, like a year later, 5 months later, 4 months later. I had a video I posted, it was stuck at like 3K views for maybe 2 weeks, and then boom, it started going up and up until it hit 2 million views. So I always say, don't ever give up and stay consistent. You can give advice, you can be relatable, you can be funny, and make sure that all of your content is of quality. And I know people always say like, hey, I need to buy a camera first before I can be consistent. I need to do this first before I be consistent. All you need, I promise you, all you need, an iPhone. You need an iPhone. You need a tripod. And this tripod you can get from Amazon. I have like 3 tripods. I have a tripod that my camera is currently standing on. And then you need lights. Any type of light. You can go on Amazon, you can get a ring light for $20. You can get, yeah, let me see. Okay, this one is a 12-inch ring light, I believe. And it goes up really high, so you can get one of those. Okay, let me show you guys the other light that you'll need. Okay, and then you will also need a light like this. This comes with something that you can clip onto your phone. I just don't happen to have it right now, but you get my gist, okay? You get my gist. So eventually, after you kind of get into the vibe of content creation, then you will start to need more products, okay? But you don't have to jump right into it and get all these $1,000 products, okay? Because you will be in debt. And you don't want to be in debt. That's the last thing you want to be in, is debt. So that is another important thing. Now, let's talk about consistency and your schedules, okay? So what you're going to do is you need to figure out what time your followers, your supporters, your audience, you need to find out what time they are the most active. For me, I know I have about 3 times that they're the most active, which is around morning time at 9 o'clock, then around 3 o'clock, midday, and around like 6 to 8-ish. You know, because I have a demographic of women, men, teenagers. So they're all over the place. And then I have followers from Africa, and I have New York, I have Florida, I have California, I have the Bahamas, I have Spanish countries. I have people from all over the world basically supporting me, and I am so appreciative of every single like, comment, share, everything, okay? I am in love with connecting with people. I am in love with motivating, helping, making people laugh, inspiring, you know, just the regular things, because this is me as a person. I'm very kind in real life, so it just feels like a blessing to be able to connect with other people around the world and just make them feel good, you know, make them feel loved, make them feel appreciated, make them feel like they have a real internet best friend. You know, that is my goal always. I like when they feel confident, and if I can help you in any area, then I would love to do that. I would always say, once you find out what time your followers are the most active, go ahead and pick a day, pick 2 days out of your week, and you create batch content, okay? You plan out all your outfits, you plan out all your scripts, all of your times, all of your makeup looks, all of your accessories. Put everything together. Write down step by step what it is you want to accomplish for those 2 days or for that day. And make sure you record everything. Nothing gets left behind, because everything is valuable content, okay? You can always make B-roll content. You can always repurpose old content into new content. Everything is content, okay? Now, there are moments when you feel like, dang, like I want to enjoy my life. Like I don't want to keep pulling out my camera. That is okay. But just remember, you have somewhere that you're trying to be. So sometimes when you don't feel like recording, you're going to have to pull that camera out and record. Okay? There's going to be moments when you're in your head because there's so many strangers around and you feel like people are looking at you and people are staring at you. Listen, mommy, these people don't matter. Okay, they matter. Everybody matters. But in the end, when you're getting your 6-figure brand deal because you're recording in Publix your grocery list and you're getting 2 million views, 3 million views, 4 million views, the people looking at you crazy in the back will not even matter. I pinky promise, okay? When you start getting those brand deals on YouTube and those 6-figure deals for YouTube, recording yourself in the car is not gonna look crazy anymore, okay? And if you feel like it looks crazy, then I'm gonna look crazy for my bucks, okay? I'm gonna look crazy because nothing or no one will stop me from achieving what it is that I put in my mind to achieve, okay? Never let anyone stop you from getting that bag, okay? Just get in your bag. Just get in your bag. All right, now here is something that you guys were probably waiting on. The PR packages, the brand deals, the brand trips, everything of that sort. Now listen, these things take time to come, okay? I promise you, you will have your time. Now, when I first started out, you know, I started off getting gifted products. Alfred Eden reached out to me. You had Lovely Wholesale, like smaller brands but still popular, you know, reached out to me, and you know, they offered me like maybe like 5 items in exchange for real, which was cute, which was cool, until I got my first viral video and I started going up and up and up, and then I hit like 10K, and then I had brands reaching out to me for 2 reels or 3 reels or posts, story posts, stuff like that, and I was like, you know what, it's time for me to start charging. You know, so I started off at 100, 150, 200, 300, you know, and they were paying. So I'm like, I'm no longer settling for less. I feel like the content that I provide is of quality and it has substance, you know? So I can charge what I feel like I'm worth now. And as time went on, you started getting more brand deals, you started getting more gifted collaborations, and you just have more screen time because the more products you receive, the more content that you have to put out. I would say the key thing is, even if you were not paid for a brand, a video or any sort, anything that you have around your house can help you get there. I would say just record a video of you doing whatever it is you're doing and tag that product. And if you tag that product enough times, they'll see, like, you'll get on their radar and they'll see like, hey, this person is making valuable content. This person is always tagging us. This person shops with us. Maybe, just maybe, we can partner up together. Maybe I can pay them for something. Maybe I can send them something for free. You know, so always try your best to get seen. Tag products, use hashtags, send it to them, email them. Now, speaking of emails, when I first started, I wanted to get a Shein collaboration so bad, and I would just email. And the way that I found these emails, like I said, because I used to be in engagement groups, so I would get them out of engagement groups, or I would just go on, you know, Google, hey, certain brands PR email, or I would go on TikTok and find, you know, little other influencers that were posting valuable information, which would be brand emails. And you know, I reached out and they were like, hey, like, we're not taking any forms now, whatever. And you listen, when I say delayed but not denied, because they emailed me 2 months later telling me like, hey, a spot opened up and we would love to have you on our team. It's been about a year or 2 since I've been collabing with Shein, and I'm absolutely in love, okay? I love it so much. So yeah, slow and steady wins the race. It will not always be peaches and gumdrops in the beginning. You will have to do some stuff for free. You would have to take some stuff and it will bite you in the butt, but eventually you will be able to stand your ground and get what you feel like you are worth. I would always say, when you do get a chance, to charge your worth, because they have the budget. They have the money. These are multi-million-dollar companies, okay? They have it. Never settle, and do not let them lowball you, okay? Do not let them lowball you, because they're paying other creators out here exactly what they're asking for. Now, if you ever need help with pitching or DMing a brand or emailing them, I would always say ChatGPT is your best friend. Or if you are in an engagement group, or if you have enough knowledge, you can kind of figure out how you want to curate this email or this ZM that you would like to send out to this brand. Now, I would always say it is super important to have a media kit. Now, in this media kit, you will have all the information that you need about yourself, some of the brands that you worked with. What is your mission statement? What can you provide to this company? What what is your value basically? Like, what you bring to the table, Bookie? Okay, period. Because I bring the whole table and then some. That's the type of confidence you need to have. Hey, my name is Jakaya Parker, and this is what I can bring to your brand. Okay? You need to have your demographics, your engagement rates on there, your prices. What do you offer? Reviews, UGC content. If you want them to have ad access, if they want to run it for a year, if you charge for that. Do all of that research, okay? And then also remember that you were supposed to be saving for taxes. Now, I'm not super tech savvy on this information yet, and I will get there, but the more money that you make from influencing, just remember to save your money, because you yourself, you are a liability, you are a business, you're basically an LLC, and you have to pay the government, okay? You have to pay. And always make sure that you draft up a contract if they don't have one. Just something to have in place just in case something goes wrong. They don't pay your money on time. You don't deliver something that you're supposed to deliver. It's kind of like a mutual understanding and an agreement with this company. So basically, these are just a few things that I learned in the beginning of my journey of content creation / influencing. I hope that I was able to help somebody, if not everybody, that watched this video today. I am super glad that you decided to click on my video to support me. Give me your view, your like, your comment, your subscription, I hope. Period. You know, I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know it all. I'm not super wise, but I'm wise enough. And I pray that you just take all of my advice and you use it, and you don't just let it go in one ear and out the other, okay? This is the time now to start, okay? There's no age limit to start posting your videos, you know, putting yourself out there, being confident, helping other women, helping other men, helping people with their mental health, you know? It's super important out here for people to be, you know, relatable, you know? Everybody feels so alone in this world, and it feels so good to know that you relate to somebody else out here, you know? You're just like somebody else, or sort of, kind of, you know? You're not as weird as you thought you was, because somebody else likes the things that you like, you know? But yeah, like I said, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Brown and Locks. You can go ahead and follow me on TikTok as well at The Official Kaya. You can comment, share if this was helpful. Leave a comment down below if you feel like I missed anything, if there's anything else that you would love for me to talk about. I love you guys so much. I'm super happy to have such a huge family on Instagram. I'm growing my following and my family on YouTube, and I just cannot wait to see where this year takes us. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. Guys, in the next video. Bye.